Good evening. Welcome to News Night here on Metro Television. My name is Bridget Otu. Always a pleasure to bringing you the topical stories across the country and beyond. Let's begin with the headlines tonight. Family of the late President John Evans Atta Mills demand immediate relocation of the remains of the late president to his hometown amid controversies. Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament accused police of peddling falsehood in a shooting incident at the Islamic SHS in Kumasi, where scores of students were injured after the police fired tear gas to disperse them during a demonstration. Head of Civil Service Nana Kwesi Ajiman Dramina urges government to address salary disparities as it reviews proposed conditions of service for civil and local government staff. And news from elsewhere: floodwater submerged streets and homes across the Senegalese capital as the rainy season, which lasts from July to October, begins. We have details of these stories and more. Do join us. Hello again, and remember, we're streaming on Twitter at Metro TVG. If you're on Facebook, it's at Newsnight and at Metro TV Ghana. Let's begin with our headline story. And the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament has accused the police service of peddling falsehood in the recent shooting incident at the Islamic Senior High School in Kumasi, where scores of students were injured and rushed to various hospitals after the police fired tear gas to disperse them during a demonstration. Chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee, Kennedy Japan, after submitting the report to the House, proposed the setting up of a bipartisan committee to go deeper into the issue.
We realized that when we're on campus, the Islamic school, the report they gave us differed from what the police told us. And we went to the police because we heard about 8 of them also got injured. So we went there. And in the course of that, when I was asking questions, I realized the inspector was reluctant. I asked several times, did you police officers enter the campus? They all said no. So no police officer entered the school. They said no. Meanwhile, we had bullets from some of the dormitories that the police entered. But the referral, we had a limit, so we couldn't probe into it well. That is why we ended there and realized that they were not telling the truth or giving us the full picture. That is why we came here asking the Speaker to give Parliament, bipartisan, give them another opportunity to go and investigate so that they can question the police very well. In fact, the IGP did well. I mean, moving from Accra to Kumasi within 2 hours, I think he did very well. No doubt about that. But the picture they painted to us, when we went there, it was a bit different.
That was the chair of the Defense and Interior Committee, Kennedy Ejapon. Then we'll stay on this because that very statement issued by the police, where they talk about the police officers and some of the students who were injured and taken to the hospital, is still one that was challenged publicly that for its inaccuracies, and that is being confirmed by Mr. Kennedy Ejapon. So stay with Metro Television. We'll bring you more on this. And we're staying with the police, right? Because a survey by the Ghana Statistical Service that scored the Ghana Police Service as the topmost bribe-taking institution in the country has been greeted with mixed reaction on the streets of Accra. And my colleague, Dolita Okai, spoke to Ghanaians on it.
These people are the only people are corrupt in the country. We, the market people too, we are corrupt. The government have to see to it and solve that problem for us. It's not only police people.
Ghana has it. So you will do my year. Now you'll be here. We'll be to my actual say we're corrupt. We've been to countries so you're corrupt. If you are some work as a police for your corrupt, some would bribe. Police for Ghana and Momu Juma. Yena yini, mimi boy or ye police ni. Yena yini. She police ni. Okwa bocha say police one car. Bunsen confirm you know car ni. But Ghana no she car ba ko bunsen confirm be de on gun. It is asem sia car ben and a police in beba beja abejo. It's very bad.
No crow say Ghana police for the hardware. Omo jiska dodo. Mimi say me drive it or stop or beba licenses what is a triangle. Or be fuck when be so benya wacho ajuska. Mr. Scan the police for the omo jepa.
See I open. Obia sorry, police be sorry. I learned to say so we a police now won't do a certain rank be I want to mean driver any license crap, but we don't know. Ignorance into ye we don't know. Until Obia to me she obia where's your friend saying license not the home now we are because of ordinary Beko court and I say Obi running your maybe oh my mark a crack no aji.
Police for Muya Jumapa. Na Sebio say Omuya corrupt and yen Omunina corrupt. For that one day I can say that because and nipa who are police in I'm robbers ba police for assembly brace police for police be crabet me anam ni kwan so a ohwe na ntokwa because of person or to me surveillance na ko nti police for dem ya ade pa.
And those were voices on the streets. We're still staying with a survey by the Ghana Statistical Service and other stakeholders where they score the Western North as the place or the region that happens to pay more bribes. And that was 53.4%. You can see on your screen. Ahafu follows with 47.0%. And don't forget that in 2021, 5 billion cedis was paid as bribe by Ghanaians, and Western North is topping that. So you can just divide that money, as assign 53.4% of it to Western North. And the latest survey, was sampled. 15,000 adult population were used to draw this conclusion. Northeast, 41.9%. Greater Accra surprisingly had about 30.7%. 30%, but what percentage of that was paid? I will not be surprised if the percentage of it is even greater than the 53.4%, because Greater Accra people pay higher bribes. Bono, 30.2%, Western again 30%, so Upper East 29%, OT, Northern region are sharing between 27.1% and 26.1% for OT. Central region is in there with 28.0%. It goes on and so that's the survey. Of course, yesterday we brought you the institutions including GRA, Army, and other institutions, and including the consulate and embassies were all fingered in the survey. All right, so let's continue with the rest of our story again here. And Member of Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee, Peter Tobu, says the Ghana Police Service topped as the most corrupt institution because the country and its leaders are corrupt. According to him, the police is only a reflection of the society in which it resides. Adding processes in recruiting service personnel must be revised in the country to promote integrity in the service.
We talk about corruption in Ghana and the fact that the police continue to top the chart over the years. People mistakenly begin to perceive the police institution as the most corrupt. That is a very wrong perception, and let me tell you why. The police institution, globally, is a reflection of every nation's status in the area of bribery and corruption, in the area of integrity. So wherever you go, if you want to find out the status of a country, whether it's in Germany, it's in Norway, in Australia, it's in South Africa, it's in Ghana, it's in Egypt, you go look at the police. The police signifies the mirror nature of the country. The police is actually the mirror. So when you come to Ghana, the Ghana Police Service is the mirror of Ghana in the area of integrity, in the area of professionalism, in the area of bribery and corruption. So when you find the police topping the chart as the most corrupt institution, what it means is that the mirror is very clear that Ghana is really corrupt. And that is why it is being consolidated by the report from the Global Corruption Perception Index, putting Ghana on 73rd position with a score of 43. That tells you that Ghana is corrupt. You see, and the police work itself is so functional of corruption in the sense that it is structured in such a way. These are people with power. And these are people, the whole country is beginning to build up the police that we have, we call Ghana Police Service. So the police we have now is the making of Ghana. We have created that police. So if they are very corrupt, ask the question, why are we creating a very corrupt organization?
You can share your thoughts with us if you believe in the view shared by the MP that police being corrupt is a reflection of the society. Use the hashtag Newsnight. If you're on Facebook, you can also tweet us as using the hashtag Newsnight. Now, speaking on the latest corruption index by the Ghana Statistical Service, the head of the civil service, Nana Kwesi Ajiman Dramina, has said corruption cannot be stopped, but called for the need to reduce it. He bemoans how some institutions were singled out in the survey.
As long as it relates to the public service, it's not good because corruption adds to the cost of service delivery. It leads to mediocrity in terms of service delivery. And you can, so it's not about GRA or police or anybody. It's about everybody. It's about the cleaner in the office. It's about the messenger. It's about the records office. Everybody, we must rededicate ourselves because whatever we do has got an impact on everybody. And it's, for me, that is the bottom line. I have a problem with selectively saying this organization or that organization. Maybe you've not, you see, it's like a system. If you've not been caught, they say you are not a thief. But that does not mean you are not a thief. It's that you've been stealing, but you've not been caught. It's only when you are caught that you say you are a thief. So we're saying that's rather prevent people from becoming thieves. Let's put systems that makes it impossible for people to be corrupt. And that is what we are working on. And some of the initiatives that we've introduced will go a long way. Not only, I think all the institutions you mentioned, they are also doing their best. But like President Kufuor said a time ago, corruption is endemic. It goes back to the time of Adam. And I think it's only in heaven that you can eradicate corruption. But we have to work to reduce it. Other countries have done. Finland, Norway, Singapore, Malaysia, they've reduced it. They will not eradicate, but they reduce it. And that's what we are doing, we must do as a country.
And to the most talked about issue currently in the country, and the family of the late President John Evans Atta Mills are disgusted by the controversy that has surrounded his graveyard. The family, who have denied any foreknowledge about the renovation of the late president's tomb, are also demanded an immediate relocation of the remains of the late president to his hometown.
Speaking to Metro News, family members of the late John Evans Atta Mills mentioned that they only learned about the renovation of the late president's tomb through the media, courtesy the great controversy ensuing between a brother of the late president Samuel Atta Mills and Koku Anyidoho.
Apparently, a group calling itself Atta Mills Institute that the family doesn't recognize and Coastal Development Authority have gone to break this grave of President John Evans Atta Mills.
Conference yesterday. Apart from Samia Atta Mills, do you see any family there? Was it not politicians? So they want to play politics with the death of President Mills? I don't want to play politics with it. For me, I'm in service to God and country.
The family says they received no information prior to the renovation and described it as a sacrilege since they would have performed some rituals.
Somebody had to see war, which remember me that medicine in that will be moved to do. Yellow, you say, but I will go quite the whole or in the cool to do. It was a fire woke to me. The man that was a fire was also one thing. You want to be here, obviously, medicine, piano, go out for watching and sana. Yena, Yako, Nia Cosette, Moya, you don't want to tell you about per man or about pen. See, the mission I see. O say, Afrishada, obey you, Badu. Yeti, the Mina Yeti, we hear us, you will go for us was one thing. Being a nature back. Well, go home or come as a man, or Yena, or you. Go quite a little one. No, so I am Mambra, there could be no fluor, who near you there, or only you, young cook. Yes, I will put out a car, I want to pay for it. The name pay for it, no car, or what you were to go. There, the man, them and no I can, well, one way no good, on Ubeshasam. Yeah, Ubeshasam, we are if Ubeshasam, as more.
The family is also demanding for immediate relocation of the remains of the former president to his hometown Ekumfi, Ochuam, in the central region. They believe that would help end the controversies and have the name of the professor sanctified given his peaceful nature and humility even as president before his demise.
There, Obey baby. No, Regina, what I share at a miss. Oh, first, I can obey a statue, Miss Statue bore her. Yeah, 1 year. The only John Bear, what had there, obey a dabby, what I share at a miss.
Which are dining?
Right, and those were some family members of the late president. And July 21, 1944 was when the late president was born. Today he would have been 78 years old if Professor John Evans Atamils were to be alive. The man affectionately called Asumdweni. And members of parliament have paid glowing tribute to Ghana's late former president John Evans Atamils. The House, as part of activities commemorating his 10th anniversary, write tribute to honor the memory of the late president who passed on some 10 years ago.
Of our birth, we pledge to thee our love and toil in the years to be. When we are grown and take our place as men and women with our race. Mr. Speaker, today is my brother's birthday. One of the things that struck me when I used to be there with him was his bedroom at the castle used to leak whenever it rained. And we would always complain to him, brother, why don't you move out of this room? Whenever it rained, we had to put buckets in his bedroom at the castle. Go and live at home, and you can come to work every day. And he said, no, I do not want to inconvenience Ghanaians. Because can you believe such a busy road as Printers Road, and the president coming to work between 7:30 and 8 with the sirens, about 10 or 12 cars, and about 5 motorbikes, blocking the road for the president to come to the office. And in the evening, also going through the same thing. No, he didn't want to inconvenience Ghanaians.
Let's honor President Mills by learning from the example. Austere measures. You don't need anybody to teach us in public service that we should cut on public expenditure and profligate expenditure. You want to have a convoy, the president is going to a region or a district, you can count as many as 57 vehicles. That is waste of taxpayers' money on fuel and the persons accompanying the president. Professor Mills showed us the way that you can do this with 3, 4, 5, 7 vehicles.
Professor Mills did his part as the president of the republic. Maybe some would say that his dress was not good enough, but that he did so genuinely, nobody can question it. Mr. Speaker, all that we can say is that God may grant him eternal peaceful rest.
Right, and it's always good to just hit the streets and hear what the street has to say about, topical stories like this. And the back and forth between Koku Anyudoho and Samuel Mills over the Asumdwe Park has caused some stir among Ghanaians, and we sought their views on what they make of it.
It's not right, because he's not part of their family. You have to leave it for the family people.
Very right, because Ebusiafono enim some baby afa president most new one and come here. Fane say bian say see ekosi and be ekosi the whole
He no longer belongs to his family. It is true they are his family, but once he is the president, he belongs to the country. So if another person wants to take up the responsibility of beautifying his tomb, it is right. If you refuse to do it and someone else is doing it, how is that an issue? He has done a good thing. The family should drop the issue.
Atamil's problem, no. To me, I don't see it as an issue. The reason is,
his brother asked him not to. He may be trying to show his appreciation to the late statesman, but if the brother does not want it, he should leave it.
And the brother really doesn't want that appreciation, then he should just forget it.
If the family talks, he don't have right to do that. I understand the family. To the sense.
I understand both parties. If he beautifies the place, it will be for everyone's benefit, and we will all appreciate it as Ghanaians. The family has refused to do it, so I believe they should allow him to go ahead with it.
Again, let's go to a topical story that's dominated headlines all week. And the Ashanti Regional NPP caucus in Parliament is demanding an apology from irate youth in the Swami constituency in the Ashanti region who attacked the majority leader Oseiche Mensah Bonsu over the poor condition of major roads in the constituency. The caucus, however, assured that the concerns of the constituents will be addressed within the shortest possible time.
We highly condemn this act. I am not sure that Honorable Chairman Sabunsu had been given resources that he had to use within the region which had not been used. So we call upon our constituents, especially within the Kumasi metropolis and within the whole of Ashanti region, to exercise restraint. For example, leadership of Ashanti caucus and the entire caucus are planning to meet the president and draw his attention, first of all, to thank him for what he had done within the Ashanti region, and also request that what had not been completed be completed. We have some constituencies that are besieged. For instance, we have Kwabri East. The roads within Kwabri East are very, very bad. And there are such constituencies like Manso, Adubia, and Kwanta, Bantama, Trumangobieja, North and South, Kwadaso, and not forgetting my own constituencies, Santiachim North, Central, and South. So virtually all the constituencies have some concerns and issues to raise with roads. There are two issues that we have planned to actually meet the leadership of government to actually discuss. That is mainly roads and then IPEP projects. IPEP projects and all the projects that are coming under the middle.
You're live here on Newsnight on Metro Television, live on Twitter at Metro TVGH, on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana at Newsnight. Still to come.
Total amount we have spent, including even administrative costs, is 53,230,805 cedis and 37 pesos.
Welcome back to Newsnight here on Metro Television. Chairperson of the COVID-19 National Trust Fund, Sophia Ekofu, has disclosed that out of 62 million Ghana cedis received by the fund, only 9 million cedis is left. The fund was set up by government when the COVID-19 pandemic struck in 2020.
Giving account of how the 62 million Ghana cedis donated to the trust fund has been utilized, Chairperson of the COVID-19 National Trust Fund, Sophia Ekufu, explained that since June 30, 2022, about 53 million Ghana cedis of the donation have been used. She further explained that Almost 10.3 million Ghana cedis was allocated to the Ghana Health Service, while about 6.8 million Ghana cedis was given to the Ghana COVID-19 Private Sector Fund for the construction of a 100-bed facility.
As at 30th June 2022, and that was the height of things, we had actually collected, or we had received 62,329,941 cedis, 98 pesos. Never forget the pesos, they add up. As at 30th June 2022, the amount that we have spent on various things, the total amount we have spent, including even administrative costs, is 53,230,805 cedis and 37 pesos.
Justice Akufo also added that attention was also given to community-based health planning and service, which she described as the front line in the fight against COVID-19.
Between April and December, we were able to distribute about 10.25 million cedi worth of PPEs. We were able to do this across the country. 8 testing centers, 9, all the regional and municipal district hospitals, etc., and 126 CHIPS compounds. We were able to do all that.
She noted that only 9 million Ghana cedis is left.
At the moment, our quandary is, okay, so if we suddenly deplete this our 9 million, and then there's a spike, then what will we do? So that's why we're treating that balance very, very carefully.
The COVID-19 National Trust Fund was set up by government when the COVID-19 pandemic struck in 2020 to curb the disease from causing more death and also to help frontline workers in managing the pandemic.
And Deputy Minister of Education, Reverend John Ntim-Fodjo, has assured the government will pay the over 340 million Ghana cedi debt owed the Ghana National Food Buffer Stock Company to ensure food supplies reach various schools in the country complaining of food shortage.
The Ministry of Education, while answering questions on the floor of Parliament, disclosed that the government owes Buffer Stock Company over 340 million cedis. As a result, senior high schools have for some weeks now been experiencing acute food shortage. Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend John Ntim-Fodjo, in response to this development, said government has initiated measures to pay off its debt.
Between January and 19th of July this year alone, government has released and paid some 327 million cedis to Buffer Stock, and Buffer Stock has also in turn released and paid to various suppliers. But that does not mean that there are no arrears. It's a process. As you are supplying and invoicing, you are paying, and there will also be an arrear, some arrears that the government is working towards. So as revenue is trickling into government makes releases to deal with the arrears. So you pay and you still have some arrears, and that is how governments are run everywhere.
He added the ministry has taken inventory of all schools affected by the food shortage and have begun processes to supply them with foodstuff.
We have received reports that some schools have challenges with food, and we have got all those reports. We have outlined all those schools, and we have mapped up strategies. We have actually deployed food. Some of them have received. Those that are yet to receive, as soon as we get to know food, we'll get to them.
Textbooks for the new education curriculum are being distributed to schools across the country.
We have had inspections to many of the print houses. They are distributing. Many of the books have gone to regions, and the regions have in turn invited the district directors and heads of schools to come pick them up. So books are getting to the classrooms, and we are excited about that. Yes, there were some delays, but those delays were because we needed to ensure that quality assurance was done on the books. We also needed to ensure that there was value for money.
While some schools have confirmed receiving food supplies, our checks indicate these food supplies, especially
the Eastern Regional Chairman of the Conference of Heads of States, Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, Peter Atajemfi, has disclosed that some 2,038 bags of rice have been delivered to 25 schools in the Eastern region. He has since urged government to ensure that the remaining schools in the region receive their share soon.
If you recall, a week ago, the Minister of Education promised that they will start supplying schools with food items. And indeed, for the past 5 days, from last week Thursday, they have started distributing some food items. In the region, I don't want to speak for the whole country. I will speak for my region. Yesterday, I had information that about 25 schools have received rice and sugar. The rice totaling 2,038. And then also, the same yesterday night, I was informed that they were offloading 800 more to be supplied to the schools that are in dire need of rice. With sugar, about 50 schools have received sugar now. Yesterday we had a Zoom meeting with the minister and other stakeholders, and we were promised that from today schools will start receiving the other food items.
Right, so we will go on the phone and speak to our Eastern Regional correspondent, Kofi AJ, on this. Kofi, good evening.
Evening.
Can you confirm, the bags that have been received, which schools have received them, and when the next batch is expected?
The head of CHAS president, Mr. Peter Atajemfi, confirmed this morning that they have received some of the food in some 25 schools, but he's not given the schools though. But after that, they had a meeting this evening, and what is coming is that at an emergency meeting with all zonal chairs in Koforidua, the leadership of the CHAS directed zonal head to dismiss all athletes who were being count for the sports festival slated for next week, 24th June, because of the school's inability to feed the athletes. So that is what is coming in now. That because of the food which came in was not enough, they have cancelled the zonal festival. This is sports which is coming on this Sunday.
I'm not sure I quite understand, but they have it.
Yes, the 25 schools have the food all right, but it's not enough.
Okay.
He was saying that their whole food by next week, the other schools will receive other items too.
But did you independently verify?
Yes. They said 25 schools have it.
Did you independently verify? Did you go to or because they didn't mention the schools, you couldn't go there?
Well, in his school, he's the headmaster for Pensec. In his school, they have their own. So we went to their place to confirm that.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Thank you, Kofi. Definitely stay on it. We'll come back to you. You're live here on Newsnight, and to some more stories. And former President John Agyekum Kufuor has consoled the executive chair of the Jospon Group of Companies over the death of his father. A delegation from the bereaved family paid a courtesy call on the former president to invite him to the funeral on September 10.
The executive chairman of the Jospon Group of Companies, Openging Samuel Kwame Japong, died at age 98. A one-week observation ceremony saw officials from the incumbent government, opposition parties, ministers of state, and other notable personalities in attendance. Ahead of his burial, the bereaved family visited former President Kufuor to inform him of burial arrangements. Ebusiampenyi Berima Osebeko is leader of the delegation.
State House, forecourt. Ama adofo ebeba ensew ne kunafo beba abejame no eho ne betra. Na munu die ba mfo de bekokwa. Sanzo penini ye na nabome ne de hye po a ubo no onte. Nti ye ne niema ha abusia de ne de bekoma o. E peja de kwa e free do me no kono. The better State House wa go se nsia bebo The question dano. Ya be no ne nasi asore wo Pentecost asore wo teshi nungwa estate so. Sounds a whole no penny no tiase no corner sorry nyina. Na question dano die a year no ya be ye wo. Ono ani fie wo teshi nungwa estate so.
The former president indicated his readiness to support the family.
Ghana manum hadie en kokra ni mruwa ni nketesi amranti en kwadakura obi atini ka obi ani na nyese enim no kwa boa me adane manu ani kwan bi so a ya de ni twapoa watra Ghana so ba Africa ni bebre niama kese akese na kurana okra sana mekano na msa akra woye ni enti wa wo brempom party sana ye jano brempom kwan ye yi afata sabe ya dija brempom pa na baka ne wote ho kakra treni sa amra no kura na otwin smith mi ankamia medro na anya no se na oche de akamamu de nka busu asem na duru ayi kase no ho na afei ntinyame aduma ejina chire den
Prior to this visit, the Japan family had visited President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Bawumia on a similar mission.
You're live on Newsnight. We're taking a break. We're back with business. Winston Taki is ready.
Welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And now to Mofo's business story. The continuous increment in food prices has been associated with the increment in petrol in the country. Some Ghanaians have expressed their dissatisfaction, while others have attributed to the economic global hardship.
We are in heaven, and everybody knows that Ghana petrol said we are in heaven. Go to US like this and see. In certain countries, the fuel is higher. They can't buy self. But we Ghanaians, then you see somebody with private car, buy petrol, put it and drive up in the morning up till night. And you are crying that petrol is high. It's not high, it's not high. They should ask of America and other countries and see what is going. We will increase. If we increase that, then we want the downfall of the government. Small.
So with foodstuffs, it's time and season, and I want every Ghanaian to pray and ask God to make it rain in the right time, and this will make everything less expensive. And the government should do something about the petrol for us, because when the petrol is expensive, everything automatically becomes expensive.
And the increment of fuel too is a lot, because when I go to buy the cow, right, the car that will convey the cow to the slaughterhouse, I have to pay, and the car that will bring the meat back from the slaughterhouse to the market, I have to pay, right? So we are facing a lot, and every day we always increase the price. And I'm telling you, my sister, if care is not taken, at the end of this year, the price of meat will go to 25 Ghana cedis.
The increment of petrol has made everything expensive, and if the government helps us, it will be better. But it isn't the government's fault. The government is trying its possible best, but due to the Russian-Ukraine war, things are not moving as they should. Ghana isn't the only country that is facing challenges. Many countries all over the world are.
I didn't go stone back 3 years, 4 years. And you rubber corny atum. Yan didn't yama. I should chill on man, you mean a man, and more.
Reactions there. Now, away from that, the head of civil service, Nana Kwesi Agyekung-Dramina, has called on government to ensure equity for civil service and public service institutions as government is set to review proposed conditions of service for civil and local government staff.
The civil service is a main public service organization established by the Civil Service Act 1993 PNDC Law 327 to assist, develop and evaluate policies for successive governments and national development. The Ghana Civil Service has launched its annual week celebration and awards night. As part of the celebration, the head of the Civil Service, Nana Kwesi Agyekung-Dramina, has mentioned how the civil service is leveraging on digitalization to improve its performance.
We have used this digitalization process to improve our performance management. Increasingly, the Ghana Civil Service is leveraging on technology to reap productivity gains in its performance management system. We have initiated steps to digitalize the staff appraisal component of our performance management. So therefore, we have started a pilot program which we call the e-appraiser, and it is intended to ensure participation and compliance with timelines of officers on the grades of deputy director and analogous grades and below in the performance management system. It's also aimed at systematically assessing employees' performance.
He called on government to address salary disparities between civil service and public service institutions.
On our side, Honorable Safo Mafo is supposed to be chairing or is chairing this committee that is looking at the conditions of service. We've made a lot of gains in this area, but there are also one or two intractable challenges, and hopefully we should be able to overcome them in the not too distant.
Let's now bring you the latest update from the Forex and commodities market. That'll be all for business here on News 9. Sports is next after this break. Well, good evening and welcome to the sports segment of the news. My name is Phil John Quarter. We're going straight to the Moroccan capital, Rabat, where Ghana's Evelyn Bedu is smiling to the bank. Why? Because she won 2 awards at the ongoing 2022 CAF Award over there. She picked up the Young Player of the Year Award and the Interclub Player of the Year Award. Let's see the excerpts from Rabat, Morocco.
They're both former winners of the African Women's Player of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a warm welcome to Adjoa Bayor and Genoviva Anoma.
Deux légendes du football africain pour remettre ce trophée. Premier trophée dans ces CAF Awards pour la première fois, la joueuse interclub africaine de l'année.
The winner is Evelyn Badi from Ghana.
Congratulations, Evelyn.
Eh bien, Evelyn n'a pas pu être parmi nous ce soir. Et nous attendons quelqu'un pour récupérer son trophée.
Evelyn could not be with us tonight, but we have a representative for her here in this room. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. We can make some noise for her, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Evelyne Badou, joueuse africaine de club de l'année.
I'm humbled to win this award and also to be the first recipient of the Women's Interclub Player of the Year award. To be selected as the best by my fellow players, coaches, journalists, technical experts means a lot to me. It is sad that I couldn't make it to the awards gala, as I'm currently in training camp with my national team, preparing for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, Costa Rica. A big thanks to my teammates, coaches, and my fans for their support towards this achievement. And I wish you all a great night.
Well, we say congratulations to the Azakes ladies for making Ghana proud at the CAF Award, picking 2 awards. Just before we go on, let's go straight to Bridget because she invested into the campaign. Bridget, how do you feel?
I'm excited for her. I'm excited for the team. It's a team that needs a lot of support, especially financial support. And I hope that this will be the start of many great investments in them individually and as a team.
Okay, thank you.
So congratulations to the girls. I'm happy for them, and especially this season as well.
Okay, so that award was picked by the head coach of the Black Queens, Messi Tego. Remember that Evelyn Badu, he's right here in Accra. They are preparing to go to the Women's World Cup in Costa Rica. Well, just before we join entertainment, let's bring you some reaction from journalists following the resignation of Prospero as coach of Asante Kotoko.
About happenings in Kotoko and Accra House of Folk. It's as if they like copying each other. Some weeks back, we had Accra House of Folk and the coaching issues. Then just this week, we've also heard about Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I want Ghana's representative in Africa to be increased or to be taken back to 4. And the only way we can do that is to have the teams that, represent us in Africa perform very well. 6 weeks to go to Africa, and there are so many things happening in the camp of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. At the end of the day, if these things are not stopped at this early stages, I think that is going to hamper the progress of Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
I always believe in dialogue. Whichever way, a coach may have his wish, but a club may not be able to fulfill all his wishes, especially when it comes.
Well, there was a reaction coming from some sports journalists on the resignation of Prospero as coach of Asante Kotoko. That's your sports. My name is Phil John Quote. Up next, entertainment. Asante what?
Well, it's time for entertainment news. My name is Esiodua Akumia. Now, for every gospel musician, the purpose of making music is to make impact positively in people's lives. That has been the story of Nigerian gospel musician Moji Alawiye, who, through her various fields, has been touching lives.
The Nigerian singer, popularly known as PMA, has been in the music industry since 1992 and tells Metro News what the impact has been since she got introduced into the industry.
My music has translated into various ways of impacting lives, of touching lives across the globe. So when you ask me, I say I sing, I speak, and I mentor. I have various branches of the music, the media, and the mentorship.
She further spoke about the Ghanaian gospel space and gave an insight into her apostolic impact event, which is set to be hosted in Ghana together with her husband Sam Alawiye, the reason for her visit to Ghana.
I know the gospel has been spreading across the globe, and Ghana has played a major role. I'm so honored to have met and know a few Ghanaian pastors, leading pastors, to say that. And it's been an amazing experience to know that the gospel that was brought to Ghana many years ago, the Ghanaians are now taking the gospel across the world. But I believe that there is a need for a prophetic shift as far as Ghana is concerned. And that's the theme of the program that we have come to Ghana to do, prophetic shift. It's not just about prophesying and telling you stuff. It's about there's a shift in the realm of the spirit. Prophecies are real.
Now, the countdown to multiple Grammy Award-winning singer Beyonce's new album just got more exciting. She shared a track list on Wednesday for Renaissance, her upcoming album, on her Insta stories. The group of 16 songs includes her already released single, Break My Soul, as well as Alien Superstar, Move, Virgo's Groove, America Has a Problem, and I'm That Girl. The eagerly awaited project is Beyoncé's first solo album since 2016's groundbreaking Lemonade. In June, she shared a photo on Instagram, which many believe to be the Renaissance album cover, along with a bit about the project. Creating this album allowed me a place to dream and to find escape during a scary time for the world, Beyoncé wrote. It allowed me to feel free and adventurous in a time when little else was moving. My intention was to create a safe place, a place without judgment, a place to be free of perfectionism and overthinking, a place to scream, release, feel freedom. It was a beautiful journey of exploration. Renaissance is set to come out July 29. Well, that's it for entertainment news. My name is Isiodua Akumia. Bridget?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Isiodua. International news is next.
Libya has resumed oil exports, ending a hiatus that lasted months. The resumption came after the country restarted production at oil fields following the firing of the chair of the state-run oil corporation by one of the country's rival governments. Floodwaters submerged streets and homes across the Senegalese capital as the rainy season, which lasts from July to October, begins. The capital has already received 84 millimeters, approximately 3.3 inches of rain. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has said that Moscow, Kyiv and the latest Western allies must all agree to halt the war in Ukraine to avoid the abyss of nuclear war. 79-year-old US President Joe Biden, who is fully vaccinated and has twice received booster jabs, is experiencing very mild symptoms and will continue on to carry out all his duties following his positive results from a COVID-19 test. The president is taking the antiviral medicine Paxlovid.